Hey y'all, Lily here. I am back at it today with researching the Hook Man and the Hook and the Caretaker Ghost for Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. Um, this one I was gonna do, the Hook origin story and the Madonna of Bachelor's Grove, but I think I'm gonna push her to my next piece. Sorry, I keep bumping the table. Everything's all connected. But I'll do my research for her, the written and the wrap up for that in my next one. And then we'll go to, is it Michigan? Jake, I'm trying to remember where you're from. I think it's Michigan. Um, and then actually I was going to go to back to North Carolina for Devil's Tramping Ground, but there was a place that popped up on Twitter yesterday that was really interesting that I want to slide in before I go to back to North Carolina. I may just upload the freaking. I'm trying to be good about my language. I might just upload the research I have on that. I don't even know if I would necessarily want to write. Don't y'all love how you get me and I just immediately start rambling? If anybody is just stumbling on this for the first time and have no idea what I do, I research urban legends, mythology, ghost stories, all that kind of good stuff in the United States. And we are currently looking into Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. What I want to do one day, hopefully, with all this research, is find out, are ghosts real or not? Or are cryptids real or not? All the things that go bump in the night, do they actually go bump in the night, or is it just our brain saying that they do? So, trying to find that one out. My computer's running a little slow. I have a lot of bad audio, foul mouth, but we have a lot of fun. And eventually my computer's going to cooperate and I can actually get started on this week's research. But while we're waiting on that, let's catch up because it's been a minute. I'm sorry I didn't put anything out last week. I was not feeling well, and then it was my birthday, so, I had to go and celebrate. Here we go. But, let's see. We started with the Hook origin story, which it seemed like it was, origin for the Hook Man, but it seems like all of those stories started before they became known with Bachelor's Grove, and even the person who started connecting the two together didn't specifically say this happened at Bachelor's Grove. It was more of a, hey, Bachelor's Grove Cemetery is haunted, here's this story. Yeah. But there is the caretaker ghost, and actually people aren't really sure if he's alive or not. He's been seen since the 70s, but there's no official caretaker according to sources. He does relate to the disappearing house, so again, if you're new, you don't have to sit through all the research. It's long, kind of, gets dull. Actually, I don't even think I have research on the disappearing house. I'm rambling. I am getting on track, I promise. But I do have the wrap up on that, and the written, so if you want to read it right fast or if you want to watch, there is that, and the caretaker relates to that. There is an actual man who calls himself the caretaker / the ghost of Bachelor's Grove. I made an incorrect notation on my notes and it distracted me for a second. But he is a real live man as of, I think, 2018. I know he was still alive. He is well aware of his association that people have with him and Bachelor's Grove. And there is a blue house that is supposedly the caretaker's house. I believe this is the one that Rick said that he was actually raised in, but Rick knows that he's lying to people, and this house wasn't even around that area when he was a kid, so. What we ended on last go around, and this is the really cool part, is the possibility of body doubles or doppelganger ghost or something. because in multiple reports, we've had people who have been in two places at one time. They've basically been seen walking towards somebody or trying to interact with them, and then that person sees them in another area of the cemetery way faster than what they should have been. It happened with Pete, who is the person who runs the, I'm going to try and get this right on the first time, Bachelor's Grove Cemetery and Settlement Research Center online. He pulls together all the cemetery records and all of the paranormal experiences, so it's a great resource. My last video, I went on about how wonderful I think he is and his site. So he saw Rick at one point in time walking towards him, but Rick had already actually been filmed by his own camera, Pete's own camera, moments before in another part of the cemetery, and was actually still there with also two witnesses, people he was talking to. There was a case where a couple thought that Pete walked past them, but then he was already in another part of the cemetery, recording at another point in time. And then there was a story of a young woman who she was there with a friend, and she had gone off and was with somebody else, and her friend not only thought she saw her, but was, heard her name called out, and what stopped her from going over there was the fact that she was in a different outfit than what her friend had last seen her in, but it was an outfit that she was known to wear. So it wasn't like, I mentioned in the last video that my family, we all seem to have body doubles in town. At least my brother, my dad, myself, and when he was alive, my grandfather. So, all from, it was my dad's dad too, so same time with the family. My mom, never seen a double for her, but rambling. The thing we often note is that the hairstyle will be different, or the outfit is something that we're not used to, and that's an easy way to tell that, oh, this isn't actually, my dad that I'm seeing, it's this other person. So the fact that she was seen in an outfit that she is used to wearing, or sometimes wears, is very interesting. And yes, I'm having coffee. I'll switch to water when I'm done, I promise. But for right now, I am a bit caffeinated. So, what I want to get started on today, I thought I had books about, or at least a story or two about doppelgangers, but with the exception of, I think, of one or two known fiction books, I don't really have anything. And I want to say known fiction, like scary stories to tell in the dark, that is known fiction. They're urban legends that are being pulled together to be shared, versus if somebody writes something about a ghost or Bigfoot or whatever, even though it can't be proven, I don't necessarily want to say that's fiction, because here I am trying to prove it's real, so. So let's see. I think we all know basically what doppelgangers are, the German word for body double. There is some lore in regards to seeing your own doppelganger, and how it can mean that your death is near, kind of thing. The problem with just typing into Google body double, even body double lore or doppelganger, is there's so much that is in our modern media about it that it just, like right now, it's Wikipedia about a movie, TV tropes, Nashville Film Institute, like it's Reddit, but it's about the movie, political leaders with body doubles. Let's see. Let's try and refine the search a little bit. I swear my Chrome is updating something in the background, and I don't know what it is because it's taking everything. It's like taking everything I do is just taking a really long time. did body double spooky definition. And the first thing it pulled up was doppelgangers. I just find this funny because you know, like I said, if you search for the words and the terms directly, you're not going to get what you're looking for. But this works. This actually throws me in the right area. This is westportlibrary.libguides.com/doppelgangers. And it literally translates to a double walker or double goer. It isn't someone who just resembles you, but is an exact double. Right down to the way you walk, act, talk, and dress. A friend or even a close relative who encounters your doppelganger will swear it was you, even though you can prove you were not in the location the double was sighted. So see, this actually works really well. I think her name is Cassie. Let's see if I can find it right fast. I want to pull this up just so I know I have her name accurate. It's always nice to see nice messages come through whenever I'm doing anything. Y'all, I think I hear thunder. No! This makes me sad. Nope. I don't want to hear thunder. Because thunder means I might have to stop recording. We all remember what happened last time I tried to record during a storm. Alright. Okay, yeah. So her name is Cassie. But yeah. Her friend stayed behind, but when Cassie returned, her friend was too unsettled to stick around, and she said that she saw Cassie waving and calling to her from roughly 50 feet away, wearing different clothes than she had originally had on that day, but was known to have worn the outfit her friend witnessed, and was spotted in a different direction from where the car was parked and where Cassie had left the area. So this one is just the most compelling to me because we have in the case of Pete's doppelganger, he was seen by people who didn't know him. So while interesting that they said, no, we saw you, they didn't know him well enough to, like, this was an unknown couple, so that they could have seen anybody. In the case of Rick being seen by Pete 2 places at one time, you know, maybe you could say Pete saw somebody else that was in the area that was just dressed very similarly to Rick. If Rick was familiar with this story of people seeing him in 2 places at one time, maybe he went and had somebody there just to kind of screw with people, seeing as how he likes to mess with people. But in the case of Cassie and her friend, alright, so, you know, each time I have that story that seems to hit with me well. Last time it was Pete's with the Yellow Man, and the time before that it was, I think his name was Arvo, and his story with the disappearing house. And with this one, and Cassie and her story, this one's the one that hits me really well. Because it's just so interesting to me that it's her friend. Like, and I would know somebody I hang out with all the time. I would know them immediately. And yeah, I would know if they were wearing something they normally wear, if they sounded the same, if they were in the same outfit that they had. Sorry, I knocked the camera in. If they were... Oh, I knocked the camera, lost my train of thought. But if it was them, I would know. And if it wasn't them, I would know something was off. So yeah, this one, it gets me good. So, and it wasn't that long ago. Let's see. Okay, I'm not exactly sure when it was. I take that back. It's not that it wasn't that long ago. It was told in April 2020. So, could have been a little bit before. hear thunder. I also have to make sure I don't see any little cat balls popping out from underneath the bedroom door. I give warning. I say get out of my bedroom. I'm like Linda from Bob's Burgers, you know? Whenever she leaves the house, she's like, love you, stay out of my room. That's me, but cats don't listen. Cats never listen to anybody. All right, back on track. Let's see. Many reports of doppelgangers are probably cases of mistaken identity, like in the case of the people around town that look like me and my family. But such an explanation becomes harder to accept when they are seen by best friends, siblings, and parents who know the real person intimately. So, yeah, I mean, if the Viking's doppelganger walked through the door today when he was supposed to be walking through the door, I would know the difference immediately. At least I hope I would. This actually mentions Edgar Allan Poe's short story William Wilson. In this tale, the main character meets his doppelganger as a child. This person is instantly followed by the copy who causes trouble in the character's life. And when the main character tries to do evil or unethical things, the doppelganger tries to stop him. And he realizes it is a reflection of his own self. I did not realize this was actually from a different place. While doppelgangers are usually associated with bad luck and ill omens, coming across your doppelganger doesn't have to be a terrifying experience. It's certainly strange to find someone who looks, talks, and dresses like you, but speaking with a doppelganger can be a rewarding experience. It gives you a unique insight into areas of yourself. Let's see. Famous cases. Okay, so this linked to famous cases of doppelgangers. And the very first thing it mentions is doppelgangers versus bilocation, which is the psychic ability to project an image of the self into a second location. This body double, known as a wraith, is indistinguishable from the real person and can interact with others just as the real person would. So would we say that it's stormy? Would we say that... What would we say then? I mean, let's look at biolocation. I do appreciate this thing has, like, links. So I don't have to research things. I'll still research, obviously. I have to know the ins and outs, but it makes it easier for me to have a little training. So it took me to a religious site, and y'all know how I am. I hear rain. Huh. So this is a bilocation thing, and it's talking about different stories of people who, you know, can biolocate. In this one, the Spanish a Spanish nun, I don't know how to pronounce this location, and I'm guessing it's going to be Spanish. My Spanish is no bueno. Let's see. She was from 1602 to 1665. And she was in the process of becoming a saint. Or, hey baby girl. She wrote about mythical experiences and became known for her own experience with them through bilocation. Even though Mary was cloistered inside a monastery in Spain. Oh, okay, Spain. She reportedly appeared on various occasions to people in Spain. I cannot talk. In Spanish colonies in the area that would become the United States of America. Angels helped. Sorry. I'll say that without laughing. Angels helped transport her to the New World from 1620 to 1631, she said, so that she could speak directly to Native Americans from, I'm not going to pronounce that tribe's name, living in what is now New Mexico and Texas, sharing the gospel. Okay. Angels translated her conversations with the members of the tribe so that she spoke only Spanish and they spoke only their tribal language, but yet they could still understand each other. I think Thor out there has something to say about that. You know, there really is something nice about having a thunderstorm on Thursdays. Now, it does say that some of the tribe's people contacted priests in the area saying that a lady dressed in blue had urged them to ask the priest questions about faith. Mary always dressed in blue since that was the color of her religious order's cape. There was reports of her bilocating to New World colonies on more than 500 separate occasions over 11 years. They concluded that there was ample evidence that she had actually bilocated. See, you know, the problem with something like that, like, it would have been harder to falsify it, or fake it, but not impossible. And I say harder than, like, say today where I could call a friend and be like, be in this particular location. Like my friend from Chicago, actually, she and I, at one point in time, looked enough alike that we would constantly confuse her horse. Hiccup. I know, baby, it's a storm. Sorry. But General was constantly coming up to me thinking it was her until he got close enough to actually, like, see me really good and sniff me, and I swear I don't want my power to go out and scare me again. Oh, it's not that I have a fear of storms, but god damn it, last time it really spooked me. Alright, storm's getting closer. I've been rambling for like 25 minutes now anyways. I'm gonna try and record more later. If the storm passes. If not, I'll try to get something in, even if it's not recorded, so I can have something for the written for y'all soon. But I'm gonna go because it's getting louder out there, and I don't want my power to flip and scare the absolute everything out of me again. So I'll talk to you guys later.